What is going on? It is February 4th, 2026. I am just discussing love. It is the month of love. Obviously, it's also Black History Month. And it all I believe, in my opinion, it is a very, very, very important topic, an important discussion to have. So love, let's look at what the Lord says about love. It is 11:15. I have work, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I should be studying the word. Let's see, Lord. So what is love, right? We always hear what First Corinthians says, right? So 1 Corinthians 13, if I speak in the tongues of man or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. It's actually the first time that I've actually went on to read the whole. That's a good one. A lot of times we get in a habit of doing that it starts becoming a routine and a habit instead of becoming or coming out of love. And it is how today we discussed at church and we had a talk of you plow, you plant, and then you water. So in that sense, I think we go ahead and we always know it is not by works, but it is the love of the Lord in us that allows us to go on and develop and have the Lord develop this new desire of wanting to help others and wanting to love onto others. And that's just the beautiful thing of restoration and renewal that the Lord has and does in you, which I have seen in my life. And although there's been some days where it's not hard, but I've caught myself multiple times on the road being a little unloving, and that's where I catch myself and I ask the Lord, I'm sorry, I just need you to help me with this situation, because I could feel it. This spirit of frustration creeping in, and I don't want that. So 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. Let's break it down for a bit. Love is patient. Patient. How are you patient? You are patient with one another. When they speak, you're patient with them. You're patient with them in every regard. When it comes to how they act, what they say, what they do, how they think, there's this patience of even when you love someone and they're not yet a child of God, it's you're patient enough to continue planting the seeds, continuing to water that seed, or continuing to just develop a relationship and just continue to pour on the love that without love you would otherwise stop pouring into. Love is kind. We know what kindness is, right? It's not being nice, but you are kind. That is more profound and comes more from within, of the kindness that they might not deserve it, but you still give it to them. You might be nice in greeting them, but you are kind enough to sit down and hear them, if that makes sense. It does not envy. All right, when you love someone, you don't envy their fruit. You don't envy their triumph and their growth. You don't envy what the Lord provides for them. It does not boast. So let's look up the definition of boast. Being boastful, right? When you boast, you talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievements. So we don't boast. Love does not boast on your own achievements and what you've accomplished, right? And it's not just look at me, how much, like for example, how educated I am. I think, Lord, it's not that. But it doesn't boast in saying, look how much I've given you, either a friendship or through a relationship. Look how much I have accomplished, or I have provided for this relationship. Look how much I've, look at the ways that what I've done for this relationship. I believe that that's more of that's how I obtain what I obtain from this. It is not proud. I know for me, being proud is, that was one of the things that I'm really like sitting down to break down, and not, because we can be proud creatures, and that really affects the relationship that we have with others. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not about what we can obtain, but it is what we can do for the other person. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Not easily angered. That was not me. That was not me a year ago, let alone 2 years ago, right? So I was very, very easily angered with a person that I said I loved. Anything that the person would do that would be contrary to my belief or what I wanted, or even my contrary thought, anything that the other person did that was not what I wanted the person to do, it irritated me, and it got me angry. So there's a difference between irritation and getting angry, because I got angry to the point that I would stop talking to the person. I would get angry to the point that I would sometimes insult them. So, and I thought it was okay, because I believed that since I didn't obtain for example, I didn't obtain like the person dishonored me, the person didn't give me the they didn't give me the they basically, they didn't uphold me to this, they didn't hold me in this pedestal, and they didn't place me in this pedestal where I should have, that I thought I believed I deserved to be, that I felt unloved, that I felt all these things that I wasn't really necessarily being vocal about, but I thought people would read my mind, read my behavior, and analyze me well enough to understand what was going on, which is never the case. You always have to have great communication with the other person, whether it's your partner, friends, family members. But yeah, I would get very easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. When there's something that the Lord has, the Lord, He's so good to me. I will keep records of wrong all the time. Even though the Lord knows my sins and the biggest sin I struggled with, I was still pointing fingers. I was still keeping records of what others did to me. And now it's the humility to be able to realize that, and it's just being aware, honestly, aware that every human being is faulty. Every human being is going to go through sin, struggle, it's going to go through chaos, it's going to go through, and we are not here to judge, but to help one another. We're here to pray for one another, right? So who am I to be keeping records of what they do if the Lord Himself does not call you by your sin? Who am I to keep record of the sin? The Lord doesn't keep record of my sin. Right now, I think I'm in the place where I'm trying to give myself grace for the things I've committed. And it's an interesting year because, yeah, it's just an interesting year. I don't want to keep on talking. Love is patient. Oh, I already said that. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. I remember one time, there's a few times where my then partner would go through this thing, and I would feel kind of not rejoice in it, but I would say, like, it's about time you realize that you're not doing things right? Instead of wanting the person to, instead of wanting to help them, I wanted them to figure it out and find out for themselves that what they're doing is not right. And that's not good. Because we want to rejoice and help them and love onto them. So, yeah. It always protects. Protecting the partner. And one of the things that I learned and I realized, protecting their integrity, protecting their character, protecting their image. And we're not talking about sweeping the it's not sweeping in, like, for example, if they're abusive, we're not going to sweep it under the rug just to protect their image, but rather it's when I'm with someone I love, I protect them by praying for them. I protect them by talking to them about what I can see that can cause them harm, which can be a way of their character, their way of doing things. So it varies. It is so different with everyone, but we always want to protect them and protect their character. Protect that when you're with someone, you don't go out gossiping about them, right? You talk to someone, they open up to you, or you talk to them and stuff, and you don't go out and speak of them. Mostly I'm talking about, or I'm referring to your partner. right? A lot of times we open up to our friends, our family members about the person, and it's no, because you want to protect their image, because obviously the other person's not, he's not, they're not perfect. But there's no good in you venting to others. Vent to God and the Lord and pray for that person. It always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Always trust on the person, because they are your partner, because they're your friend. So one of the things that I did deal with was the overthinking and overanalyzing every step they took in every situation and every word they spoke. Always trust, because there's a reason that you are with them, there's a reason you have them in your life, there's a reason you want them in your life, and it's because you ought to trust them. If you don't trust them, then just talk about it and just move on. It always hopes for the best. What is hope? Let's define hope. Definition of hope according to Google is hope is optimistic state of mind. So you always desire the best outcome for them and the best outcome for both of you. So when you love someone, you always hope that the friendship, the relationship, the unity between both of you will persevere and will have a harvest of many blessings, of many triumphs, and you will hope for the best, right? It always perseveres through struggles and everything. You always overcome them. And one of the things is communication, which is so interesting because I was the worst at communicating, and I'm still working on it, because I'm trying to work on actually analyze the situation and saying, okay, Adele, are you taking this too personal? But I don't want to come to a point where I overthink stuff, and instead of leaving it to God and discussing it with the person, that I start accumulating those thoughts and those things again, and leading to a hardened heart towards the person or the situation, which not caring is the same thing as, for me, as a hardened heart, right? For me, like I said. So yeah, love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will still. Where there are knowledge, it will pass away. Amen. So yes, that is ending. And I learned a lot of what is love, and then throughout the beginning of this year, I started to realize that there's certain people I didn't love, and although I might have thought I knew what love is, it was not mirrored in my family. It was not something I grew up knowing or experiencing until I met Jesus, and I felt the actual definition of love and what he defined as love and what love is, that I started to go back and pinpoint the relationships where I loved and didn't love. And honestly, I've never actually loved someone, which is sad to say, because love is all of those there's a particular word for it. Love is all of those characteristics and those branches all into one. So love is love is the trunk of the tree. The branches come out to be those characteristics of love, those traits that are embodied when you love someone. So yes, I hope you guys, it is a long video. I didn't know it was gonna be this long, but I hope this not helps, but makes you think. It makes you wonder and question, are you being loving? And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. That is something that I wanted to speak on for about a week or so. So I'm so excited and happy I was able to speak about it. And yes, bye bye.